Now let's practice solving some problems with those skills. For this sequence 200, 193, 186, find a formula for the nth term and find the first negative term. Now clearly these terms are starting off positive but they're getting smaller, so at some point they're going to go past the zero. So for part A, find a formula for the nth term. Start by always writing this out. The nth term is equal to A plus n minus 1 d. So it's the first term plus a certain number of d's. How many? Well, just slightly less than whatever term we have. Now, if you've memorised it with the d out the front there, that's fine. You can use your version. Now sub in what we know. We're trying to find a formula for the nth term, so we still need that there. But we know what the first term is. It's 200, so we can put that in for A. And we know what the common difference is too. We know that this is going down by 7 every time. So the common difference is minus 7. Now we can put it like this if we want to. It does look a little bit clunky when you go to expand it out. There's a chance you might make a mistake with the signs. If you like to, that other version of the formula might make more sense now to say the number of d's is out the front here. It's minus 7, n minus 1. I feel like when I'm working around this way, I'm less likely to make a mistake. It's the same thing, but whatever makes you more comfortable with your working. Now I need to just expand this out and simplify it. So I've got 200 minus 7n. Don't make a classic sign error here. Minus 7 times minus 1 is plus 7. Now I can add these together, and my formula for the nth term is 207 minus 7n. So let's just double check that now. Anytime you answer a question, if you can, check that you've got it right. What would the fourth term be according to my formula? Well, subbing 4 in there for n, I know that 7 4s are 28, and if I do 207 minus 28, then I'm going to get, is it 7 less than this? Yep, it should be 179, so that's right. So just double checking helps you make sure you're on the right track. Now, find the first negative term. All right, well, we've got a formula here for any term that we want to find. So all we need to do for part B is say, let's let the nth term be less than 0. That's how to make it negative, let it be less than 0. Okay, well, the nth term is all of this. So we need to just do 207 minus 7n and let it be less than 0, and then solve it to see what value of n we get. I'm going to add 7n to both sides. So I've got 207 there and 7n there. Last step here I need to do is divide both sides by 7. So dividing this by 7, I get 29 and 4/7. I'm just going to keep working up here. I'm running out of space. So the n is on the big side here. If I want to write the n first, I need to make sure it's still on the big side. And I've got 207 over 7, which I've already done. Whoops. 29 and 4/7. Now, don't stop here. You need to make sure you answer the question. We've just found that when n is any bigger than 29 and 4/7, the term is going to be negative. We haven't been asked which term is the first negative term. We need to actually find that term. Now, can you have the 29 and 4/7 term? No, you can't. You've got the 29th term, and then you've got the 30th term. So stop and think here. Which term is the one we want? Well, we need n to be a whole number, and we need it to be bigger than 29.47. So we need n to be 30. Because the 29th term isn't quite going to be a negative. It's still going to be in the positive numbers, whereas the 30th one should actually be negative. So now we need to find, all right, what is the 30th term? So write out your formula for the nth term, but use 30, where you would normally put the n. So we've got 207 minus 7 lots of 30. So that's 207 minus 210, which sure enough is negative 3. Now a quick check here to make sure, would that be the first one? Well, yes, if we're going down by 7, the one above that would be positive 4, wouldn't it? So then find the first negative term, you'd answer the question. The first negative term is negative 3. And actually finish with a statement that answers the question that you were asked. Sometimes we're asked to solve questions around the other way. So in this example, we're told that the first term of an AP is 105 and the 10th term is 6. We need to find D and then list the first 5 terms. Now with a question like this, it could be easy to get stuck and think, I'm not sure how to start. If you're not sure how it's going to be mapped out, just start with something. Write down what you know and then it becomes clear what you can do with it. So I'm going to start by saying T1 is equal to 105. I also know that that's A, isn't it, in my formula, because we've said that A is the first term. So there's 2 things there I can use. I also know that the 10th term is 6. So if I think of my formula for the nth term, which looks like this, then I can already use some things here. I can swap out that A and put 105 in instead. Let's just make that a bit tidier. And then I can think through, well, what do I already know? This is the fact that I need to help me figure out what D is going to be. So let's go ahead and put this in. If we say the 10th term is 6, okay, but the 10th term is also 105 plus, well, if n is 10, then n minus 1 is 9. Now, if the 10th term is 6, but the 10th term is also equal to this, then these 2 things must be equal to each other. So that means that 105 plus 9D must be equal to 6. Now I've got an equation to solve for D. Now, do you have to set it out that way? Of course not. There's so many ways that you can set it out, but this is our first time doing this kind of question. So listing what you know and then listing what you also know and putting them together can help you get started. Of course, many people would have jumped straight to writing this down just from thinking, well, I know this is a formula for the 10th term and I know this is what the 10th term is. The more you do, the quicker you'll get to coming to this point. Now that we're here, we can solve it. 9D is equal to, or we've got 6 minus 105. So we've got minus 99. So then D must be minus 11. So that gives away everything. If we know A, and now we know D, we can write any term. So the first term, we know the second, the third, the fourth, and the fifth. Well, we knew the first term, and each time we must now be adding negative 11, which is the same as subtracting 11. So if we just take 11 off this, and keep on taking away 11, it's very easy to generate the terms like that. Or of course, instead of setting them out this way, you could have just listed them with a comma in between, like that. Always check back that you've actually answered the question. Find D. Well, you might want to actually just put a box around it to make it really clear. List the first 5 terms, put a box around that to make that really clear.